Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Dowd at Real Estate Economics. I'm grateful for those of you who are joining us for our weekly webinar. This morning is June 16th, Wednesday, and those of you who are joining us this morning, we're glad that you're joining us. If you're joining us a bit later and are passing along the YouTube, we'd love for you to pass it to your friends and colleagues. This particular webinar deals specifically with the East Bay market area, up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. We define the East Bay as Alameda and Contra Costa County, and instead of doing more of an economic analysis, which we usually do, we're actually going to show you some market information that we think will be very, very useful. And this stems directly from our website, and so I'm actually going to be hopping onto our website and demonstrating some specific tools and pulling up information that describes this market, where it is right now, or as of the last couple of months. So with that, let me just remind you of the next couple of webinars. Next week, John Mulville, my associate and colleague, will be giving a webinar titled A Quick Take on Land Residual Analyses. We do land residual calculations quite a bit, and John will take you through an example of how we do that and show you a bit as to how we incorporate that into our site-specific reports. Thereafter, we'll have a webinar similar to the one we're doing today, but we'll tailor that to the Fresno market area. The Central Valley is lagging behind a bit, we think, in terms of the recovery, and we'll show some of those reasons why, and we'll show you exactly what's going on there right now. You can join us on Twitter. This broadcast is via YouTube, and hopefully you'll take advantage of sharing that with your friends and colleagues. Our support people include Judy Duell. The address is shown on the slide, as well as Sandy Rivera. We encourage you to contact them at any time regarding any subscription needs regarding our online information services at www.realestateeconomics.com. Okay, on to our presentation. Alameda and Contra Costa counties. If you joined me last week or a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to do something similar where I actually go directly to our website. This is the first page of our website. I've actually already logged on. Those of you who don't have an account with us, the accounts are free. Just hit register, type in the registration information, and you'll open an account which will give you access to portions of our information, not quite all of it. For those of you who are interested in our subscription services, you'll see an example of that today. I'm going to go to Products, Generate Online Reports, and the first thing I'll do is go to Housing Transactions Reports. Now you'll notice that we have all of the main counties throughout California in this particular database. We also cover Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, North Carolina, New Mexico, Nevada, Oregon, Texas, Washington, Utah as well. For purposes of this presentation this morning, I'll choose Alameda and Contra Costa counties. What this will do, I'll select all, is it will pull up all of the transactions that have occurred in this particular market area throughout that two-county region for really any time period that we specify. And it's such a large region that I'm actually just going to pull up the most recent month for which we have data, which is April. You can also filter it, pull up just the resales, just the new home builder closings, just the foreclosures, or just the foreclosure sales when a bank is selling that property, that foreclosed property, to a new owner. This time I'm going to keep them all in, as well as all single family and condominium. I'm going to keep all price ranges, size ranges, bedroom and bathroom counts. At least you can filter it in those various ways. Here are all of the transactions that have occurred during the past month for which we have information. And as always, you can actually zoom right into an area and get a very good idea as to what's going on in a particular area. And I'll pull in an area of Oakley up in kind of the northeast quadrant, actually show you how you can change the map. I'll go to a hybrid version, so you can actually pull up our aerial photos and get the street names as well as the aerial, and get right down to a specific location where they are selling homes. Enough of that. I'll go actually back to the map view and zoom out a little bit, so again you can see the entire region. And let's actually generate some reports. Before I do that, I'll comment on the pie chart here. You can immediately see, and this doesn't even cost you anything to do this, you can see without a subscription what the overall breakdown is in terms of what's going on in this particular market area. Here are the resales, a little bit more than half the market, which is well below normal. Typically the resales should account for about 75% of this market. Part of the reason it's so low obviously is because foreclosure sales and foreclosures still make such a large piece of the pie in this particular market, while new home closings have shrunken down to a very small sliver. I mean, typically this should almost be about 20%, between 15 and 20% of the overall transactions. The new home builder sales have shrunk tremendously simply because the builders cannot get the construction loans needed to offer the product to sell it. Price is an issue, but even more of an issue is the lack of supply of new home construction. It's just not there right now, which makes sense given the lending environment. Let's actually pull a report on Excel. What's going to happen once I hit generate reports is it goes into a vault, into your own personal information vault if you're a subscriber, and allows you to pull that information up. And you can pull it up directly into Excel. And here it's downloading, and there are some macros that are built in to make this a little bit easier to use. And here we go. Here's this report. As you can see, there are a total of 4,342 transactions that have occurred in this market area during the past month of April 2010. That compares to a slightly smaller amount a year ago and quite a bit smaller 2 years ago. So overall, sales volume is increasing, though it's increasing at a slower rate. During the past 12 months, the average price has increased by 15.1%. I would hesitate to call this appreciation. I think it's more the fact that we are selling a smaller share of foreclosure sales, and foreclosures are making traditional resales are making up more of the market. Traditional resales are 52% of the market. A year ago, they were only 39%. So fewer distressed sales going on right now, more traditional resales. That's bringing up the average a bit. It's not quite appreciation, though prices certainly have stabilized. You can see that average sizes have increased a bit. Average price per square foot has increased in tandem with price increases. We also include the mortgage amounts, and part of the reason we do that is it helps you to understand how much is being put down for a given transaction. You'll see the chart that goes with that in just a bit. Regarding the breakdown of transactions, again, about 52% are resales. Only 2.5% are new home builder closings. Now, that was about 7% 2 years ago, and that was well below average in 2008. So here's 2008 at 7%. Again, the normal is around 15%, a little bit higher. Fell to 4.2% in 2009. Here we are in 2010 at 2.5%. The new home building market could sell more if they would build more, and they're certainly priced comparably to the resale market. They're an average of $453. The resales are an average of $450. So again, it's not necessarily price. In fact, new homes are generally a better bargain than the resale market at $243 per square foot relative to resales at $251. So new home demand is out there. It's just being held back. The realization of new home demand can't occur if you're not building the homes. And the banks would loosen up and provide that lending construction that's needed by the builders. I think the builders would bounce back up to their traditional market share of all transactions. Foreclosure sales make up 23.5% of the market. That's higher than foreclosures, which is a good sign. The fact that we have a higher level of foreclosure sales, and I'll show it graphically right here, means that we're still burning off distressed inventory in this market area. However, we're burning it off at a much lower rate than we were a year ago. Look what was going on a year ago with foreclosure sales. Again, the bank selling a foreclosed property to a new owner was over twice as high as the foreclosure rate. A part of the reason the foreclosure rate was so low back in early 2009 is because banks didn't quite have it together in terms of the infrastructure and the people needed to bring to foreclose on properties. It's also due to the moratorium. I think it's actually more due to the fact that banks had laid off so many of their employees. Now they've hired a bit more. They have that infrastructure in place. They're foreclosing on more properties, and you can see that there was actually an increase in foreclosures. But we burned off so many of those foreclosures in such a rapid rate during the past 12 months. There aren't quite as many to sell right now, and so we're in this flux period where foreclosures are increasing a bit. Foreclosure sales are down, but they're still higher than foreclosures, and we think that kind of bumps around that same relationship during the next several months. So overall distressed inventory, despite the fact that foreclosures have gone up, overall distressed inventory is down as long as foreclosure sales are higher than foreclosures, and that's been the case here. A couple of other things that are interesting on this particular report. The overall loan amount or loan to value is 93%. There's still, especially in those outlying areas, a lot of FHA loans going on, and that's causing this to be a relatively high level. You can see over here what the overall trends are in terms of price. Prices formed a floor during the past 12 months, and they're now bouncing back a bit. Again, more a function of less distressed inventory, at least being sold in terms of foreclosure sales than a month ago. Right now we're at an average of $219 per square foot. That's quite a bit higher than it was 12 months ago. There's a lot of people out there who were kind of kicking themselves thinking that they should have bought 12 months ago. Believe me, that window is still open, and we think that there's still about another 12 months worth of taking advantage of that opportunity. A lot of other information in this particular report. A lot of things that allow you to plan particular product and plot it against the various segments of the market that's going out there, where you can see the price lines and so on. I don't have time to share all of that with you. I'll close this segment by saying that if you'd like to test this out, contact either Judy Duell or Sandy Rivera. You can pull up transactions for pretty much anywhere in California, the other states that I mentioned, down to whatever polygon you define, whatever zip code, whatever city boundary or county boundary. And I'll continue with segment 2 in just a moment.